We are so pleased to have a new segment on PCN Life called That's My Life, and it is being run by our wonderful new guest, Christine Hurley. Christine is a comedian, but she's going to tell us why we're naming this segment That's My Life.
Thank you, Julie, for having me. First of all, it's so nice to be here. We're calling the segment That's My Life because we want to bring something to our friends, our local viewers. My comedy, I'm a professional stand-up comic, is based on life, based on true life, based on my husband who doesn't do the smartest things every day, based on my 5 kids who also sometimes can be quite a disappointment. So it's just, it's about real life, and I think that if you put it into a humorous form, it just makes everybody feel better. So I'm thrilled to be able to do that.
Okay, so how would one, such as yourself, get into stand-up comedy?
It was a crazy thing. I was always a very funny person, and my husband always thought someone's got to see you, someone's got to see you. But at the time, I was a little bit of a chunky monkey. I have 5 children, so I had 5 children, and I had put on the baby weight and never lost it, unfortunately. Okay. So I didn't have a lot of self-confidence to go to any, open mic nights or anything where the comic starts. So long story short, I took care of the weight problem. I had a gastric bypass.
How much overweight were you?
I was overweight by, oh boy, I was overweight by about 140 pounds.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I was like a whole other
little
me.
You?
Oh yeah, believe you me.
You had 2 yous.
Yeah, there were 2 me's, believe me. After I said I do, I said, where's the buffet? So yes, I was a big girl. So,
okay.
So I got that taken care of and got some confidence, and my husband, my wonderful husband, my life partner, my manager, who I make fun of the whole time during my act, which isn't very nice, but like I tell people, he cries on a big bag of money. So he said, let's go do this. We found a way to do it, went to New York, got discovered, and the rest is history. So it's been 8 to 10 years that I've been professional.
Okay, so your whole growing up, what did you want to be when you grew up?
My whole growing up, a mom.
You wanted to be a mom?
Honest to God, yep. I wanted
you did
to
that
and
5
I did
times?
do that. I did it well.
Yeah.
I completed each task.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a mom. I've known my husband since high school. I was crazy about him the minute I met him.
Wanted
to be Jimmy Hurley.
Jimmy Hurley. You always talk about Jimmy Hurley.
The fabulous Jimmy Hurley. Yep. He's a saint.
Yeah.
And I just, I was crazy about him in high school and just wanted to be a mom. So I did. Yeah.
Great. And you live here in Plymouth?
We live right here in Plymouth. Yep, we've been here about 20 years. I actually grew up here most of my teenage years and then moved to Randolph, where Jimmy's from, when we got married.
Okay.
And then we made our way back down here about 10 years into our marriage.
Good old Plymouth.
Yeah, good old Plymouth.
Now, how does one find work as a stand-up comic?
That's a tricky one. I'm telling you, the odds aren't good. The odds aren't good. The odds are really stacked against you, especially if you're a woman.
Yeah, right.
Where it comes in, I think I was lucky to have Jimmy kind of run the whole. Jimmy did all the phone calls and all the contacts and everything, so I think they felt like they were dealing more with the man. Isn't that the craziest thing ever? But
it's true, though.
That's how I got in. I got in just because I was always seen by the right people. I had people that were very generous and not afraid of competition, people in the business that said, I'm going to help you, and they did. So big names like Steve Sweeney, Lenny Clark, Don Gavin, all those guys saw me and said, we're going to help you, Johnny Peasy.
And you don't threaten people.
No.
So this wasn't like your ambition in life and you have to crawl over people to get to the top, which I think is what makes you so real also, which is why probably people love you and embrace you so much.
If it was taken away tomorrow, I'd be fine. I have a great base. I have a great family. I have my husband. I have my parents. I mean, I don't,
You got everybody.
I got everybody. So I'm not a competitive person, but comedy is competitive, and to start out and to get booked is insane. And I pride myself, and Jimmy and I both pride ourselves on saying we've never called and asked to be booked.
Right, people
ever.
call you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, how do you come up with new material? Is it the news? Is it
it's
current
luck.
events? Is it luck?
It's luck.
What do you mean it's luck?
It's luck.
For example,
it's all my whole routine, I guess you'd call it, is based on. Real life is based on things that happen, at the baseball field with your little leaguers, or, what your husband does or says, it's all based on that. So when something happens, when Jimmy actually does say something moronic, which is a common occurrence,
Jimmy.
you can, I know, God love him, you can take it and run with it. I mean, I think it's just, that's how it all started. You know, things would happen with me and the kids at home. It all started from postpartum depression.
Okay.
You know, which is, like I would be home with these kids.
Out of misery comes comedy.
Out of misery comes comedy.
Yeah.
She had one automobile. Jimmy had 3 jobs. I mean, I was stuck home all the time. It comes out of that, you know.
You either went insane or you
exactly.
got a sense of humor.
Exactly, Julie.
Right.
Exactly. So that's what we did.
Now let me ask you about, in this current time that we're going through of political upheaval, shall we say?
Right.
With a lot of very strong opinions.
Right.
How do you use humor to help calm that down?
I'll tell you, humor is such a great, it's so medicinal because humor helps so much. The political thing, this whole thing, this election is really kind of, I think it's rocked everybody's world. It's shown you who your friends are, which is crazy. I mean, I'm disappointed. Even some of the guys I work with, some of these comics I work with, they're so intense on who they're going to vote for, and they get so angry if you even... You know, what's wrong with you? And I feel like I don't know them as well as I knew them. And it's a really, I just can't wait for November 9th. It's a really
so you can't
tough
humor
thing.
your way out of this one.
No, and I'll tell you, and I'm on the circuit with these guys, these Boston comics, and the ones that interject the political into their sets every weekend, then it's not going well.
And I bet it's not funny.
They're not making friends.
The audience is really polarized.
Absolutely. And the audience is coming, I call it, you know, I say now when I'm posting a gig that I have coming up for the weekend and I want people to come, I say, come and relieve yourself from all of this electile dysfunction. Come out and we won't talk politics. Let's come and just have some laughs. And humor is so great. Like, my favorite thing to do with humor is, and Jimmy and I were just talking about the other, there's no good help anywhere. And you know, everyone's miserable where they work, and from the fast food counters to the, you know, so I find that if you just give humor, you can turn someone's whole day around.
Oh, I know. Like, even just with a smile, you can turn their day around.
Or just say something that surprises them, you know, and that's the best gift in the world. Like, that's the funnest thing to do. I could spend my whole day going out and doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Halloween's coming up. Do you have any funny Halloween stories?
Oh, God. I remember one year, of course, I'm a procrastinator. I'm terrible. And when the babies were little and it was Halloween, I was the worst with the costumes. Like, you know, you love these mothers that are sewing them since July, and, you know. Well, I'm heavily medicated. I can't stay on a machine that long. So, I mean...
Watch your bracelets. It's making noise.
Sorry, honey. So, I remember one year it was, you know, bare bones, and I had gone out literally the night before Halloween, and I was like I was like a zebra at the last zebra at the last buzzard at the zebra carcass.
Yeah.
Nothing was left, so I got them all some suntan pantyhose, and they all went as burglars. It was sad.
You were sad,
but that's what they were, all 5 of them. Yep, and a couple came home with some good stuff. One had a stereo, one got an iPod, so it worked. You know, but Halloween was always very stressful, very stressful.
Now, what do your kids think of this?
Because
kids are always like, they either really think their mom is cool or they think their mom is like lame.
I think they were in the middle of the road. They've grown up with it. Like when I started comedy, the baby was 1, I think, or 2. The baby was 2, I think, when I started comedy. So the baby, and he's 15 yesterday.
Yeah, so no choice.
No, so they're used to it. Like, this is just how and the way I am on stage is the way I am at home.
Right.
You know, minus the curse words. But they get it, and they love it, and they're proud, and they
love mom.
They do love mom. They love mom.
I heard some story about you packing a lunch.
Oh, that was
that?
a good. Well, that was a great one. That was it was very stressful when I was trying to get 5 of them off to school every morning, and you know. This particular morning, my little guy was driving me crazy. He just started kindergarten, and you know, you have to. I'm in kindergarten now. I'm in kindergarten. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. And he's the 5th. No one's paying attention to him. So he wanted to pack his own lunch. Can I pack my own lunch? I want to pack my own lunch. Can I pack my own lunch for kindergarten? Go ahead. I said, knock yourself out. So he packed his own lunch. True story. About 3 hours later, I get a call from the school nurse at West Elementary School, the wonderful Nurse Kane. And she said, Christine, you have to come pick up Brendan in his lunchbox. Unfortunately, he packed a leftover box of Kung Pao chicken and 2 wine coolers.
And we will close with that.
So that's my life.
That's your life. Until next time when we talk to you again.
Thank you, Julie.
Oh, thank you. And